And away we go, ladies and gents, in the fastest heat of the men's 1500 metres freestyle. Saw 4 heats of this earlier on in the morning session. And me and Joe had a really good time watching those races. There were some really, really fascinating swims, right the way from the youngsters, all the way through to the guys in the 4th heat as well, some of the older ones. And Joe, some really talented swimmers in this one, particularly want to focus initially on the man in lane 5. What a year it's been for Timothy Shuttleworth, British champion in this event earlier on this year. Went to the Olympics, of course, Rio 2016. Been an amazing year for Timothy Shuttleworth, and he started off really well in lane 5.
Yeah, he's had a fantastic year. He's still really young as well. He's only 19 years old, so very young. He's still got a lot of potential ahead of him. He also went to the European Championships in London and made a final, and that was a fantastic race out there. There were some brilliant swimmers in London, a lot of Italians, and they were racing really quick. So he's had such a lot of experience this year, racing the best swimmers in the world. So, like I said, he is very young. He's still got a lot of time ahead of him. You know, he trains in Loughborough. They've got a fantastic program there for middle distance and distance swimmers. As you can see here, there's a few Loughborough swimmers in here, so they all train together. They race against each other, which definitely helps. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how he does today, but not just today, next year, leading into the World Championship trials in April.
Yeah, you mentioned the fact that Loughborough have quite a few swimmers in this one. We have 5 Loughborough swimmers in this race out of 10. Half the pool is made up of Loughborough swimmers. What is it about that club? Of course, you used to swim there. Of course, what is it about Loughborough that is so good for middle to distance swimming?
I think it's just a fantastic facility. You know, they've got a 50-metre pool there. The gym there's absolutely incredible. They've got all the staff there to support you and help you. And not only that, the coaches are brilliant. You know, I was there for about 6 years of my career, and the coaches are absolutely fantastic there. And what I love about Loughborough is it's such a team atmosphere. It doesn't matter what group you're in or who you train with, everyone comes together, especially at competitions like this. So even if you're in different groups, you support each other, and you know, we can hear them when they're coming out. We can hear them supporting each other, cheering for them. And so I think it's quite a unique place to go. And you know, it's a fantastic university as well. So the uni team's really growing there, which is really good to see.
Yeah, looking outside of the Loughborough bubble though, we've got Tom Derbyshire in lane 6. He won a gold medal in this pool at Ponds Forge at the Summer Championships in the 17-18 year category earlier on this year. Another young swimmer, that seems to be the theme for a lot of swimmers in this race. Some really talented swimmers coming through, and particularly at the University of Bath, and I know a setup you know particularly well.
Yeah, Bath's got a brilliant setup as well. You know, Dave McNulty down there. Tom's not been there for too long, so it's great to see him here in the final. Again, he's really young, and I think that's what I love about distance swimming at the moment, especially the guys. You know, we've had some brilliant swimmers over the past in the 1500 and 800. You know, we've had Graham Smith, who won an Olympic medal. We've had Dave Davis, who's won 2 Olympic medals. So, you know, it's amazing what results we've had in the past over distance. So it's great to see some of these younger swimmers coming through and really now working to make teams, you know, make the Olympic Games, make the World Championships. So it'll be great to see maybe next year, Commonwealth Games, 4 years' time, some more of these younger swimmers on the podium, taking after Dave Davis and Graham Smith.
As we look into the water here, it's certainly been a very, very good start being made, not particularly surprisingly, by Timothy Shuttleworth in lane 5. Mentioning he has had such a good year, he's such a natural freestyler. Seems to me, Joe, and I know you agree with me here as a woman yourself with very long limbs. He has such long arms and long legs. It really does lend itself to freestyle, doesn't it, particularly at distance level? Yeah,
definitely. And he sits really high in the water. You know, he's skimming across the water, and he's just got a really nice stroke. He's just got a constant leg kick, a really nice, long, smooth stroke, and he just looks really relaxed and really controlled of it. You know, he's not fighting the water, he's not snatching the water, and he just looks really good, really smooth. And, you know, he's looking great at the minute. He's out there in front. It's going to be tough for him to be out there on his own, really pushing himself, but it'd be great to see him get near his PB tonight. We've seen him go 14:41 before, so to get under that kind of 14:40 mark would be a great stepping stone for him.
Yeah, it certainly would. And at the minute, he's got a couple of swimmers tucked in behind him. Tom Derbyshire in lane 6. He's about a body length down, not too far away behind him. It's Daniel Jervis, Swansea Aquatics swimmer in lane 3. And then we've got Caleb Hughes from Loughborough in lane 2 in 4th. And what Timothy Shuttleworth has done here, metaphorically, is painted a big target on his back, because he's gone out very, very quickly, and he's got 4 swimmers behind him who are all very, very capable of swimming very, very quick times as well. And that gives them huge motivation. They see the guy in front and they know exactly how quick they have to go.
Yeah, definitely. And Tim Shuttleworth's got nothing to lose here. There's no pressure on him here this evening. You know, it's not as if he's aiming to qualify for the World Championships or Olympic Games here. It's just a race. It's just him against the clock. So it's a real good chance for him to come here tonight, really relax, get into his race and produce a really good swim. And this is a top field here. You know, we've got Tom Derbyshire in lane number 6. We've got Daniel Jervis in lane 3, Caleb Hughes in 2. So some really world-class athletes in here that are really fast swimmers. So it's a great opportunity for him to race them, but not also that, get out in front with no pressure on him and set a really good time.
It's all about the time for Timothy Shuttleworth. He has had a magnificent year, as you mentioned, heading to the Olympics in 2016. You mentioned earlier, Joe, just 19 years of age. That must be crazy to go to an Olympics at such a young age.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it'll have been a great learning experience for him. For him, he was probably aiming 2020, 2024. You know, he's definitely got 2 more Olympics in him. So I think for this first one going to Rio would definitely have been a big learning curve for him. You know, really just taking in the experience, taking in the Olympic Games itself, because it's quite a daunting thing to go to an Olympic Games, especially your first one, going to an Olympic village, you know, seeing all the different athletes from different countries. But, you know, it's such an exciting time as well. So, you know, he would have gained a lot of experience and a lot of confidence through those Olympic Games. Going into 2020, into Tokyo, you know, that'll be his real aim there to hopefully, you know, make finals and then hopefully get medals as well.
Yeah, certainly an exciting future for Timothy Shuttleworth, and of course an exciting present going along really nicely. And you can see there the cards at the end of the turning ends. 31 lengths still to go for Timothy Shuttleworth, which sounds particularly daunting, but at least it is only a short course. And Joe, I know you mentioned earlier in commentary you didn't particularly like short course because you didn't rate your turns particularly. In 1500 metres in a short course event, I can't do the maths, but you're turning an awful lot. And that just makes each and every turn so important. I suppose you've got to take on each one completely individually, haven't you?
Yeah, definitely. I think short course is very much about the turns. And I was saying earlier, you know, even if you're tired and in hard training, short course is probably a little bit easier to swim than long course. You know, you've got the turns you can really work the underwater. And if you're 0.1, 0.2 off on each turn, you can put a lot of time on after it. So it's really important that these guys in the short course, 1500, really work on those turns. You know, and if they can take 0.1 off each of their turns, you know, they're looking at really good times without even going quicker in the actual swimming. So we can see that, you know, of the top class 1500 swimmers in the world, you know, the Italians, the Americans, the Australians have really good underwater and they have fantastic turns.
Yeah, we noticed when we saw the 50 breaststroke, for example, I reckon about only after the 50, I reckon about 30 metres was actually above the water. So much happens under the water, not just on the start, but also the turn as well. Timothy Shuttleworth now on a lapping mission, just to give you a little bit of perspective on the race, as it has slightly changed on the eye, might be a little bit difficult to follow. Leading the way in lane 5, that's Timothy Shuttleworth from Loughborough University. In second place, alongside him in lane 6, is Tom Derbyshire. In third, Daniel Jervis in lane 3. In fourth place is Caleb Hughes in lane 2 from Loughborough University. In fifth, that's Tobias Robinson in lane 4 in the middle lane, also from Loughborough. In sixth, on the near side, Samuel Budd from the city of Sheffield. Chris Lowther in lane 7 is in position 7. In 8 is Kieran Bird, he's in position number 8. Nathan Wells on the far side is in 9th. And Jack Beister in lane 1 is in 10th. But as you notice with the 1500, because there is so many back and forth, eventually the quicker ones do tend to lap the slower ones in this race. So just give you a little bit of perspective on it there. Timothy Shuttleworth leading the way. British record in this event stands at 14:32.56, set by David Davies back in 2004. That is a very, very long-standing record. You know, as soon as it doesn't start with a 2010 onwards, there's going to be a pretty hard one to beat. And that stood for a very, very long time for good reason.
Yeah, absolutely. Dave Davis was a fantastic 1500 swimmer. He went on to win 2 medals at the Olympic Games. He won a medal that year that he broke that British record in Athens over in 2004. So it's a really quick record. We saw Jay Elliott last year, get close to that. He went 14:36 here. So he's been the closest to that. He had a great 1500 last year. But it'd be great to see that go sometime soon. I know Dave, he was a brilliant 1500 swimmer, a brilliant open water swimmer. But it's been stood for a long time now. So it'd be great, over this year, next year, to see that go. I think could be kind of really special for that swimmer.
Yeah, British records don't tend to hang around too long, generally speaking. They tend to switch around quite quickly with the constant introduction of new young swimmers, and the better ones getting even better year on year.
Yeah, definitely records there to be broken. That's the thing with records. I know, if you pick a medal up at a competition, you get to keep that for life, but records are there to be broken. And I think for us older swimmers that have got British records and stuff, we want to see them go because it shows that the youngsters are coming through and, they're aiming to be one of the world's best swimmers. So, it's nice that some of them are still standing. I bet Dave loves the fact that his British record still stands, but I think he'd be really, pleased to see that go and see these younger swimmers coming through.
Yeah, I think that's certainly the case as well. I was at a Paraswimming meet in Berlin ahead of the Paralympics this year, and I saw a Paralympic record that had stood for 23 years be broken by 9 seconds, which was one of the craziest things I think I've ever seen. Looking back on 2016, Joe, it has been an unbelievable year in the pool for so many swimmers, for GB swimming in general. It's been utterly phenomenal, both in swimming and paraswimming. As you look back on 2016, you just saw what we're doing at the Sports Personality Awards tomorrow, I guess. As you look back on 2016, what has been your highlight in the pool this year?
I think it's definitely got to be, if I'm looking at a guy, it's got to be Adam Peaty, not just because he won an Olympic gold medal, but the way he did it. He went in and won it in an Olympic record, world record, and that's unseen on. You don't see that very often. You don't often see a world record go in an Olympic final. So the fact that he did that and he looked so in control of that race, he looked incredible, and he won it by such a large margin. And at the Olympic Games, that's not ever seen of. Normally in 100 metres, it's won by 0.1, 0.2. But, he absolutely smashed that race, and he just, the pressure was on him to win that gold medal, and he didn't let any of that affect him, and he just went in there and, absolutely smashed it. And I know him and his coach, Mel Marshall, really well, and they've got such a strong partnership. The way they coach each other and stuff is just amazing. I used to swim with Mel. We swam on the Olympic team together, the world team. So she's such an amazing swimmer, and she's gone on to be a world-class coach, which is just, I'm so proud of how she's done that. So they've got such a strong partnership. So I think not only Adam, but their team, is just a massive highlight for me. And I think for the girls, it's a tough one because obviously Jazz Carlin, she's had a real tough few years, missing the London Olympics in 2012, but then going on to win 2 silver medals at the Olympic Games was such an achievement for her. And her teammate, Siobhan Marie O'Connor, winning a silver medal in the 200 IM. She's so young, Siobhan, and she's got so much kind of time ahead of her. And to pick up a silver medal, at her Olympic Games was just amazing for her. So I think in all, British swimming is on such a high at the minute, and it's just such an exciting future for all these swimmers.
Yeah, it's actually really boring because my highlights are exactly the same, which is quite boring. Watching Adam Peaty at 3 o'clock in the morning, followed by Jazz Carlin winning a silver medal at about 3:30 in the morning, getting up for work at 6 o'clock, was made all the better by the fact that I had that to wake up with a smile on my face to after watching those races. Real particular highlight of 2016 for me, not just in a swimming sense, but in a sporting overall sense. It has been such an incredible year. And as we look into the pool, we hear the bell, which means Timothy Shuttleworth is not too far away. Don't be fooled by the swimmer in lane 4. Timothy Shuttleworth is miles ahead here. He's a full lap ahead of the swimmer in lane 4, Tobias Robinson. And in true Timothy Shuttleworth, Joe, hasn't really been trouble. This is going to be a pretty comfortable swim for Timothy. Swam really, really well in this one. And how quick is it? It's very, very quick. Wowee. Well, it's a good job we mentioned David Davis' record. That stood at 4:32.56. That's been obliterated if that time is confirmed. 14:24 on the money is the unconfirmed time for Timothy Shuttleworth. That is a ludicrously quick time. We're waiting for that to be confirmed. We'll get that confirmed for you as soon as we can. but Timothy Shuttleworth has absolutely smashed it there. Daniel Jervis in second place, Tom Derbyshire in third. Worth pointing out, those two have gone incredibly quickly as well. Daniel Jervis would have been inside the old record time. Again, we are waiting for that to be confirmed. But that is such a quick swim from Timothy Shuttleworth.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. 14:24 is a world-class swim that he's absolutely smashed David Davis' British record. I was saying earlier, I'm sure Dave would love to see that go. And, you know, he's not just broken it, he's absolutely smashed it. What an incredible swim to do that kind of, you know, after such an amazing year for him, going to the Olympic Games, then coming here and, you know, smashing that British record. Absolutely incredible for Tim Shuttleworth there. And, you know, Daniel Jervis as well, also under the British record. Absolutely incredible for him as well to be under that time. And Tom Derbyshire, 14:33. Those three guys there to get that top three. You know, what an incredible race for those three swimmers there. And, you know, it was such a good race for them.
As our final swimmers come in to finish the race. And we are just waiting for this time to be confirmed, which I'm sure it will any second now. And there it is, Timothy Shuttleworth at a time of 14:24. The record for David Davies has stood since 2004, 14:32.56. It's broken by a huge amount. Congratulations, Timothy Shuttleworth, a new British record.
Timothy Shuttleworth, a 12-year-old British record, obliterated. Talk us through that.
I had the race plan to go into it and just keep my legs low on the first 100 and then build into the race. I think it went quite well. So.
Quite well? That record stood since 2004 and you've absolutely smashed it, 8.5 seconds off it. Did you realise you were in that kind of shape?
I knew I was in good shape and I was coming to try and get as close to it as I could. That was a game plan. I talked to it with Dave, he's just up there. And yeah, just lucky that I got underneath it really.